Hello again. Back on the Ditton 22s. So I've recently finished a pair of Celestion Ditton 44s for a client, lovely chap. Turned out to be a lovely speaker in the end as well. My LS6As, you might have seen part 2 of that. I probably am going to do a part 3, but I've sold them. Yeah, shame to see them go because they were a lovely speaker. But I've got lots of pictures and a few videos of when they're complete and having to listen and that sort of thing. So I'll try and make something up as kind of a conclusion to the LS6As. But yeah, I'm back on my Ditton 22s now, which we looked at a while ago. So today I'm going to pop out all the drivers and give them a resistance test and just inspect them as well. One of the tweeters apparently in these doesn't work. I don't know which one it is yet, so hopefully that's going to show up as an open resistance on the voice coil. If it doesn't, then maybe we have an issue with the crossover, and that's why the tweeter's not working, which would be great because I'm going to be replacing most of the components in the crossovers. But if we need a replacement tweeter, I did mention last time I've got a pair of ribbon tweeters that I would use in these. That might involve a little bit of tweaking on the crossover though. Otherwise, for about 20 quid I think I can get a replacement tweeter. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. I've been toying with keeping these myself, and one thing, I had them stacked on top of each other in the workshop and they look quite good like that, one on top of the other, and it got me thinking whether I try and get 2 more cabinets and make some subwoofer enclosures. So one speaker sits on top of another enclosure which is a sub, and also the volume of these is very similar to one of my favourite subs, a Rel Strata. So I could quite easily see a 10-inch woofer in here with the port, some nice feet on it with one standing on top of the other. Make some big floor standers, kind of full range, maybe good 30 to 20 kilohertz. Yeah, anyway, I'm waffling on and that's not what we're here for. So I'm going to disconnect both woofers, label them cabinet A and B so I know which goes back, not that it's really going to matter, and then we'll test them all up. Okay, so I'll take all the drivers out and be back shortly. Right, now that the drivers are out, I thought we would take a quick look at the cabinets. I know we did last time, but so they're chipboard and they're ply inside, so they're really well made. We've got inserts for the driver fixings, not just wood screws, so they're really nice cabinets. And I've got to say, of all the speakers I've come across recently, there's something I really like about these. Nice solid mid-range enclosure in there, again all chipboard. It doesn't go all the way to the back, so I'll probably put some bracing in there to stiffen up the back of these. But yeah, there's something I really like about these, and I'm hoping to do these and keep them myself. So yeah, crossovers in the bottom. I'm sort of going back on what we did before, but yeah, they're looking nice. I can kind of see we're going to need a load of new components, but yeah, all good. Right, let's have a measure up on these drivers. I'm going to do that down here as well because then you can see the whole lot. Right, so here we all are. 2 8-inch woofers, 2 4-inch tweeters, mid-range, and our 2 tweeters, and we think one of these is packed up. So good old multimeter. So let's make a start with the woofers. Right. Okay. Right, let's have a look then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the readings I get on the back of the woofers, on the back of all the speakers, and record it that way. So as always, zero out our meter, 0.2. Okay, right, let's have a look at this woofer here first. So let's call it 3.7. There's 4 ohms stamped on there. Remember, these are DC measurements, not impedance, so we'll call that 3.7. So hopefully this woofer will be the same, because we really want these matching. So yeah, I'm going to call that 3.7 again, taking off the resistance of the leads. That's pretty good. If you move the cone around, you'll get a different measurement, and that's the problem when you're trying to work out crossovers. The impedance changes, so it's very difficult to calculate crossovers, but I'm going to make a video on that. Right, this mid-range here. So again, this is a 4 ohm driver, so 3.8, so we take the 2 off, 3.6. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's do this one. A little bit lower on that one. 3.6, so we'll call it 3.5. It's dancing around a bit. Okay. Right, let's have a look at these tweeters. Let's move these out of the way. So we're pretty good with those, quite happy with those. Yeah, right, tweeter number 1. So because of the dome there, I'm going to put them over this so we don't damage them. Right, I'm expecting one of these to be open, but we will see. Yeah, so that might be our dead tweeter, because we got open circuit there. So hopefully the other one will have some sort of reading. Yeah. Okay, 3.7, so let's call that 3.6. Okay. And we will call this one open. So that's our dead tweeter. That's a bin filler, that one. I mean, I can change the diaphragm on that, but it's a bit of a faff when I can get one of these second hand for 15, 20 quid. So I think that's probably what I'm going to be doing, rather than trying to put a new diaphragm on it. You know, reconing speakers is a bit of an art, really. I can do it. Right, one of the woofers. Yeah, that's not bad. Very easy to distort these when you're moving them, because they're paper cones, treated paper cones. So yeah, quite happy with that. They're quite sticky. I did wonder if the rubber was breaking down, because often it goes sticky, but they smell of nicotine. I think it's cigarette smoke. So I'll give them a good clean with some rubbing alcohol carefully. But yeah, I think we're pretty good. These all look in pretty good shape. The gasket has pulled the wood, but we can clean that up. So we definitely need a new 4-ohm tweeter, either the same or I might use these ribbons, and I think the ribbons are 4-ohm as well, which is good. So we might not have to do much with the crossover, but I'm going to take the crossover out now and we can have a look at that and see what we got there. So we can suss out what cables are doing what. Ultimately, I'm going to get rid of this and solder the connections. These having plugs in the signal path like this, yeah, not ideal, and they're just open to corrosion. And the same with these little plugs as well on the back of the drivers. They're loose, they're open to corrosion. Yeah, not great really for a you know, if you want your speakers to be top notch, then things like this, things like these need to go, and maybe some bigger cable as well. It's a bit dental floss, this stuff. Yeah, so there's some improvements off the bat straight away. And also you really want to try and get anything iron or, you know, steel out the signal path, because they can be a bit magnetic, and that can introduce some inductance and tear down the top end a little bit. But yeah, okay, right, so I'm going to have a good look at this, and we'll try and figure out what's doing what. Well, straight away I've found that the mid-range and the tweeter are both connected out of phase. So this is the negative coming in, and that is connected to the mid-range positive and the tweeter positive, and also we go to the woofer negative. So the tweeter and the mid-range both are connected out of phase. Yeah, surprised to find both of them connected that way. Might expect the tweeter to be connected out of phase, but the mid-range as well. They're both the same, so there must be a reason for it. I can't see anything obvious, but yeah, it's not uncommon. So right, I'm going to get me pen and paper and we'll try and map this crossover out. Right, this might be a bit tricky, but let's see what we can do. So I can see through the circuit board, so I can see all the traces. So that's going to be a help. Right, so I'm going to start by drawing a positive rail and a negative rail ground. So I can see, as we just discussed, that the negative coming in connects to the mid-range positive and the tweeter positive as well, and then obviously the woofer ground. So we're going to the tweeter, positive and negative, and then to the mid-range, positive and negative, and then we're going to the woofer, negative and positive. Right, okay. So let's take the woofer and start from the positive coming in, which is the blue. So the blue goes through this trace in the middle. So we have an inductor connected across to the positive, and I would expect to see a cap as well. So going to ground, let's have a look. It's going to be over here if it's anywhere. Right, so it's this one. Okay, I can't see the value of that. 60. Right, so fairly standard. This would be a second order arrangement then. So we have an iron core inductor to positive, and then we got a cap after that to ground. Okay, right, so let's have a look at the negative for the mid-range. It's actually the positive because it's connected out of phase. So we come yeah, that one. Okay, so we come up our positive, okay, so we've got an inductor, capacitor and capacitor, I think. Right, I've just sort of stopped looking at the mid-range and looking at the tweeter just to eliminate that. So we've got a second order on the woofer, and then the tweeter, we are coming up the positive through an 8 microfarad cap, through a 12 microfarad cap, and then out to our tweeter, and then in between the caps we've got an inductor here to ground. So that's a third order crossover. So that means that we've got this cap, this inductor and this cap in the mid-range circuit. So it looks like we're coming from positive through a 20 microfarad cap first, so that's going to knock off low frequency, and then we come down through this inductor here, which is an air core, and then this cap here is after the inductor to ground. Right, and that is 12 as well, 12 microfarad, and we had a 20. Right, okay. Right, so that makes some sense. So we're kind of got it all, I think. Yeah, okay, so this is what I reckon we've got. So second order on the woofer, third order on the tweeter, and the mid-range, yeah, kind of a second order on the low pass, and first order on the high pass. Yeah, bit bizarre that one, but there we go. So yeah, so I now know the values I need. I'm going to need a 60, two 12s, an 8 and a 20. The inductors, these air core, they're decent thickness. Expecting the inductors to be fine, and the iron core on the woofer circuit, I expect that's probably crossing over about 500 Hertz, so that's probably okay. So yeah, we'll get new components for these. I am going to measure them, more the inductors because I'm going to keep them, but the caps I'm just going to replace anyway. So I don't think I'm going to bore you with measuring them, although I might do just to see how far out they are. But yeah, I think we've sussed it. So there we go. I'm not really too sure how I'm going to finish these cabinets yet. I mean, I need to get a new tweeter, or possibly use these ribbons. I haven't decided yet. I need to get new crossover parts, and I need to do something with these cabinets. I've been getting good results with vinyl wrap, because the veneer on these is absolutely shot. I can't salvage that, so I'm going to have to sand them back, repair all the chips and bumps and nicks and areas where you know, the chipboard's broken away, fill that with some epoxy resin filler and just flatten that off and get the shape back. And then, I don't know, I can spray them, I can wrap them. I'm definitely not going to re-veneer them. Yeah, so yeah, if you've got any thoughts on that, drop us a comment. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up wrapping them because that works well. And yeah, the front baffle, see, that's in good condition, so if I wrap them, maybe I should be doing it in a wood grain that matches. I would like to completely cover the front baffle in like a felt, so I get rid of any baffle gains really. So yeah, I've got a few ideas, so I think next video I would have made a load of decisions, and might be an interesting one. And like I say, if I can get another set of enclosures, I would like to make some sub boxes for these to sit on. So, you know, we get to like a 4-foot high floor standing speaker, which potentially is kind of full range. So yeah, hope that's been of interest, and catch you on the next one. Oh, I am going to say I'm going to make a video soon on different types of speakers, so 2-way, 3-way, and the different variants of those and crossovers and things, so might be of interest. But yeah, catch you on the next one.